Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the mind of an economic giant, someone whose ideas fundamentally reshaped how we understand markets, society, and even our own choices. We're talking about the incredible Kenneth J. Arrow. If you've ever wondered why economics matters beyond graphs and numbers, Arrow's story will show you exactly why. His work isn't just theory, it's the bedrock of modern economic thought and public policy. So let us explore how one man stood at the very crossroads of mathematical rigor and pressing social issues and forever changed the game. Imagine the mid-20th century. Economics was undergoing a massive transformation, moving in two crucial directions simultaneously. On one side, brilliant minds were bringing mathematical precision to the field, clearly defining concepts we now take for granted: preferences, equilibria, efficiency, information, and risk. They wanted to make economics as rigorous as physics. On the other side, the world was grappling with huge urgent problems: healthcare crises, complex financial systems, the drive for innovation, big public investments, and how societies make collective choices. These issues demanded explanations that could stand up to the messy reality of institutions and human behavior. And right there, at the perfect intersection of these two powerful forces, was Kenneth J. Arrow. He was a true polymath who didn't just observe these shifts, he actively shaped them. Arrow was instrumental in proving that competitive markets can indeed lead to an efficient allocation of resources. But, and this is key, he spelled out the precise conditions under which this holds true. He wasn't just saying markets are good, he was showing how and when they are good. But his insights didn't stop there. He also illuminated why collective decision-making can often struggle to translate individual preferences into a coherent overall societal choice, even under seemingly reasonable assumptions. This is a big deal when we think about voting or public policy. Arrow also formalized the concept of risk and the immense value of information, ideas that are now central to finance and decision theory. And in a stroke of genius, he explained why medical care simply doesn't behave like an ordinary commodity, offering profound implications for healthcare policy around the world. He even treated learning and invention as vital engines of economic growth, long before innovation became the buzzword it is today. When you put all these contributions together, it's clear that Kenneth J. Arrow didn't just contribute to economics. He literally changed how economics thinks and how public policy is designed. Now, let's rewind a bit and understand the man behind these groundbreaking ideas. Kenneth Joseph Arrow was born in New York City in 1921 to immigrant parents who instilled in him a deep appreciation for education and public service. This wasn't just any time to grow up. It was the Great Depression. He attended City College of New York, where scarce resources, mass unemployment, and intense public debate about the government's role gave economic questions a very immediate, very human context. It wasn't abstract theory, it was about people's lives. His academic journey continued with graduate studies at Columbia University. But his education wasn't confined to lecture halls. During World War II, he served as a weather officer in the United States Army Air Forces. This experience, demanding technical forecasting under immense uncertainty, trained an instinct that would later become evident in his pioneering work on risk and information. It's fascinating how real-world challenges often ignite the most profound theoretical breakthroughs, isn't it? After the war, Arrow joined the intellectually vibrant community at the Cowles Commission, a hub of mathematical economics. He then moved between prestigious institutions like Stanford and Harvard, becoming part of a generation that was rebuilding economic theory from the ground up, based on transparent axioms and rigorous proofs. But crucially, they never lost sight of real-world public problems. The geopolitical landscape of the Cold War, the rise of operations research, the explosion of computing power, and the rapid expansion of higher education all created an environment where robust theory and practical policy absolutely had to interact. And Kenneth Arrow didn't just thrive in that environment, he helped to define it shaping the very intellectual landscape for future economists. What's so striking about Arrow's career is this duality. His profound mathematical elegance coupled with an unwavering focus on real-world issues. He didn't just build ivory towers, he built bridges. His work on general equilibrium theory, for instance, showed how a complex system of markets could theoretically arrive at an efficient outcome. But he didn't stop there. He also meticulously laid out the conditions required for this efficiency, conditions that, in reality, are often not met. This nuance is critical, as it provides a framework not just for understanding market success, but also for diagnosing market failures and designing policies to address them. His famous impossibility theorem, for example, is a cornerstone of social choice theory. It demonstrated, with stunning clarity, that under a few seemingly reasonable conditions, it's impossible to aggregate individual preferences into a consistent social preference order. This has massive implications for democracy, voting systems, and how we make collective decisions as a society. It's not about saying democracy is flawed, but about understanding its inherent complexities and limitations in a deeply rigorous way. Then there's his work on information economics. Arrow was among the first to formalize the idea that information itself is an economic commodity, but a very peculiar one. Unlike a chair or an apple, information is difficult to sell without revealing it, and once revealed, its value to the seller diminishes. This Arrow information paradox is foundational to understanding markets for intellectual property, patents, and even the economics of scientific research. It helps us see why governments often need to step in to fund basic research or create robust intellectual property laws. And we can't forget his insights into healthcare. Arrow observed that healthcare markets differ significantly from standard commodity markets due to factors like uncertainty about illness, asymmetric information between patient and doctor, and ethical considerations. These unique characteristics mean that a purely free market approach to healthcare might lead to suboptimal or even inequitable outcomes. His analysis laid the groundwork for much of modern health economics and arguments for universal healthcare systems or significant government regulation in the sector. Finally, his contributions to endogenous growth theory. The idea that economic growth can be driven by internal forces like innovation, learning, and human capital were prophetic. He highlighted the importance of learning by doing, and how knowledge accumulation is not just a byproduct of production, but a driver of it. This thinking is fundamental to our understanding of technology, innovation policy, and long-term economic development. So, why does Kenneth J. Arrow matter today, decades after his most famous works were published? Because his conceptual maps continue to guide us. When we discuss market efficiency, collective decision-making, the value of data, the intricacies of healthcare policy, or the engines of innovation, we are invariably walking paths he helped to forge. He provided the analytical tools to dissect complex problems and the intellectual honesty to acknowledge when simple solutions do not exist. His legacy is one of profound clarity, rigorous analysis, and a relentless pursuit of understanding how societies can better allocate resources, make decisions, and improve human welfare. He showed us that economics isn't just about predicting the future, but about understanding the present deeply enough to build a better future. What do you think is Kenneth J. Arrow's most impactful idea? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive as fascinating as I did, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the minds that shaped our world. Your support really helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.